whenever you're fixing to fry up some flapjacks or bake a mess of biscuits, don't forget to use cool, clear water and good, pure Pappy O'Daniel flour.
Well, hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheraton Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. So, a couple days ago, we had a little problem with this, our spring box, our reservoir. We didn't have any flow going into it, and we tracked the problem down to what looked like was a leak in our spring box. And JW and I spent a whole day working on that thing and could not get the water situation straightened out. So we bought some products. We've got some supplies, materials. We're going to dive into that thing today and see if we can fix the problem. So hang out with us for a little bit. Let's show you what we're doing, and let's see if we can get some water flowing back into our reservoir box so we can water the animals and all the other things that you got to have water for. Been frustrating. Hang out with us for a little bit. Okay, so we're back up here at the spring box, and between the last video and today, JW and I went in and we broke out all of, right here's a big piece of it, we broke out all of that concrete that had been used as patch on the front and got down to the base of that thing to really find the leak and figure out where we were leaking at. So if you missed the last video, this is our spring box. This is where we catch our water. Water comes out in this pipe right here. It goes down to a reservoir, and that's what feeds our house. We got so much leaking that the pipe that's inside the spring box was not underneath the level of the water, and so we didn't have any water flow. Came up, and like I said, what we've done is we've dug out all of that patch that was in the front. And what we kind of discovered was, over time, the water has degraded all of that block to where we really don't have any kind of seal down here. And so we've just got water pouring out everywhere along the base of this thing. So we found a product. We'll show you that here in just a few minutes. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on taking part of this spring box apart. And we're going to cut the front of this thing out on each side. We're going to cut the front of it out so that we can put our new spring dam in, and we'll show you what that's all going to look like. What do you think? It's going to be a job, ain't it? It's going to be a lot of fun. We're farming now. Right there. Yeah. Ain't we? Pretty good. So did you go back and rewatch that video?
Which one?
This ain't a spring, it's a friggin' creek. But it's just under me.
This one. That goes down there if you want to Teflon tape it too.
That's all glued. We'll prepare. We'll prepare. We'll glue there. We'll glue there. Ready?
Yep.
Does that need to be glued?
It says it doesn't. So it's just slip them together. On this side. Let's sit this in there and see how it sits.
See what it's going to look like.
Because I mean, all the way back there, you want this further back, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking right in there. It gets us. Maybe we.
Yeah. All right, we had to take a break because we had a little shower come through and kind of slowed the progress. But so this is the thing that makes it work. Big piece of bendable plastic, and on the inside there's basically 3 inlets, 2 for the water, and then there's 1 for an overflow. So the water outlet down at the bottom, getting pretty good flow there, and then this one is this is your overflow, and also you can drop some chlorine tablets in there, pour a little bleach in there to shock the system if you need to. So we've put it in place, got us some red clay, and we've packed around the sides. We're getting a little leak over here on this side, and we've got some water coming out over here in this corner. So we're not, I think we're going to end up leaving this where it is, aren't we? Is that what we're going to do? So yeah, we're going to leave it where it is, but for the time being, what we're going to do is we're going to attach a piece of 3/4 to that water outlet, so we can get all this water out of here and finish packing our clay in there, find out exactly where we got water coming from, where we're leaking at, and settle this thing in. But JW and I were talking, looking at this and knowing how much water we were getting into our reservoir box. That's a better flow than what we had. I think we're catching more water. So looks like we're on the right track. I think we finish kind of sealing this thing up. I believe we can get to that overflow and get this thing pumping out more water than what it'll hold. So still a little work to do, but we're definitely on the right track now. Okay, so we filled our spring box here full of this gravel, and we probably could have bought that a little cheaper at the quarry by buying a load of washed stone, but it was easy for JW just to go to Lowe's this morning and get some bags of decorative rock. It's fine. So we filled it up almost to the level of the lip of the spring dam. We went ahead and put us in a piece of pipe so that we could move the water out and get it out of our way. And this is what will attach to our line that goes to the spring, or to the reservoir box. And right there's what we're getting. Good flow. I think that's better than what we had before. Next step, we got to fix us a overflow that connects to our overflow outlet. We'll put a piece of plastic over this, and then we're going to cover all this with dirt. The only thing that'll be sticking up out of the ground will be this red cap right here that we can use to drop some chlorine tablets or pour some bleach in there and shock the system. So I think we're much better than we were. Still getting a little water around the edges over here, but I believe once we get all the dirt in here and get it covered in, it'll make that a little more watertight, and hopefully will cause that water to rise back up behind the level of the spring dam. I don't know that, we'll see. So but we're getting closer. Next thing we'll have to do is tie into this line right here. This is the line that goes down to the reservoir box that we get water out of for the house. 3, 2, 1, start. Stop. All right, so we've got our line. It's not plumbed in to go down to the reservoir box, but we've got it just draining out into the branch. And we used a very scientific method to test how much water we got coming out. We used, where's it at? Did you put it up?
No, I ain't got it.
I thought I gave it to you. We used a pint mason jar, timed how long it took to fill that mason jar, and then multiplied that by 8, because there's 8 pints in a gallon. And we came up with, it was a gallon, how often?
We're going from 1 gallon every 6 minutes
Okay.
to 1.6 gallons every minute.
Every minute, which calculated out to be 2390. What was it, JW? 2400. Right at 2400 gallons in 24 hours. A little bit under, not much, but a little bit under. We've got a 1,000-gallon reservoir tank down there, so we're going to fill that thing up. We could fill it up two and a half times, about 2.5 times in 24 hours. And up until now, we've had to be real careful because we were afraid something's eating me alive.
Yeah.
We were afraid we were going to run out whenever we were watering animals and then bathing and doing clothes and, you know, just stressing the system. So I think we're in much better shape now. So we're going to finish up with this thing. Like I say, we got to put, we're going to put some plastic over this, and then we're going to put some dirt. We're going to fill all this back in. We still got to plumb it into the main system going out. So we're getting closer, but we've got water captured in a pipe, and that's huge. And real quick, JW just reminded me of something, and for those of you, that know, you'll know, and it is,
whenever you're fixing to fry up some flapjacks or bake a mess of biscuits, don't forget to use cool, clear water and good, pure Pappy O'Daniel flour.
Oh, these are the working conditions we have. Is that where you like it?
Yeah. Well,
Better or worse.
there she is.
There it is.
All right, so here's where we're at. So we've got our, we've got our spring dam in, and we've got our rock, and we put clay around it. We fixed our overflow, and we're actually getting water out of our overflow now. This is our overflow pipe, and see, we're getting a little bit of flow out of that. And we were getting, this 1.6 gallons per minute. But the problem that we've ran into is when we go down to the spring box, down the holler, we're not getting 1.6 gallons per minute coming out of the pipe going into the reservoir box. We are getting water, but just not the flow that we're getting here. And we've also sprung, I don't think these are leaks. I just think that it's, there's just more springs here. We've got a little water coming out right here, and we've got another one coming out right in here. So there's plenty of water here. It's just getting it in this pipe and getting it pushed down to that reservoir box down there. So I think we're going to kind of call this for today. We'll come back tomorrow and dig on a little bit more and see if we can get some more flow going down there. I'd like to capture all that water. I mean, there's a bunch of water coming out of that thing, ain't there, JD?
Yeah.
Bunch of water. And we just want to capture, I guess I'm greedy. We just want to capture all that water and make sure we're making use of it. All right, so we're down here at the reservoir box, and I'm going to hold the camera down there and y'all can kind of see and hear how much water is coming in this thing at a time. And I think that's about the situation that we were in before we had the failure in the system. So we're going to leave this thing for 24 hours again, come back tomorrow and see how it's going. Okay, so full day working on this thing. Still not where we want to be, but we do have some water flowing into the spring box now, so, or into the reservoir. Now, when I say spring box and reservoir, they're not interchangeable, but I hope you know what I'm talking about. We do have some water flowing into our reservoir that we pump water out to the house and some of the animals and that kind of thing. Again, not where we want to be, but we're going to come back tomorrow, work on it a little bit. I don't know if we'll do another video on this. If something kind of, there's something sort of newsworthy that I think's worth putting on video, we'll do that. Otherwise, maybe we got this project wrapped up. We'll just have to see how it goes. But anyway, like we always say, please keep us in your prayers. May God bless you and your families, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.